This isn't what we normally do here. For a start, I normally edit out the shouting cat. And normally, I spend several tens of hours a month extracting information in occasionally humorous style from an old gaming magazine. But sorry, today is time for a rant concerning current gaming events. Look, I'll distract you with some lovely Master System games in the meantime. You see, this week, once again, some idiot commentator who I won't name but happens to be from America once again started on about the global video game crash. If you've no idea about that, here's what actually happened in a couple of sentences. In America, in the early 80s, Atari, to put it bluntly, buggered it all up. The VCS, also known as the 2600, was successful, but they made key mistakes like half-arsing games, and in some cases, making more copies of the cartridges than there were machines in existence. Atari went under around 1983, not for the last time, and damn nearly took US video gaming with it until the NES came along a year or two later and largely rescued the console scene. In much of the world, but we'll use the UK, we literally didn't notice. The 2600 had a footprint here, sure, but the vast majority of games players were using computers. The Sinclair ZX Spectrum, Amstrad CPC and Commodore 64 in the main. The market for gaming in general was just fine, and continued to be so in both the UK and across Europe and really every primarily English-speaking country I can think of mid this unedited rant. When challenged, this commentator doubled down, claimed Europe didn't matter to the point they said it wasn't a market and just a scene. After a day of being flamed off the internet, they indicated they wanted to listen in a post that once again claimed the crash was global because everyone's market was affected by America. You know, because of all of those ZX Spectrum games that were being produced there and exported to the UK to be sold for £2, I presume. So yes, one so-called journalist is an ignorant prick. Why does it matter? Well, the reaction of I, and many of my UK colleagues and gamer friends, is because this is just the latest front in what at times seems a mission to scrub British gaming history specifically off the map. Even the BBC, who you'd think would get it right given they badged several machines, appears to have forgotten they were in 8 out of 10 UK schools with a machine not important enough to have been mentioned in paragraph 3. They've ignored it in many recent articles, and worse, presented the global video game crash as such without challenge. And if 100% British media does that, try researching online. English language Wikipedia calls the Mega Drive a Genesis, its name only in North America. Moby Games has a policy of preferring a US name in all circumstances, even when that makes absolutely no sense, and results in console versions of Sensible Soccer being primarily labelled Championship Soccer 94. Ween, a French Atari ST game made by a French team and released by a French publisher, is listed as its US name, under which it probably sold about 5 copies. The same day I saw the bullshit I'm currently complaining about, I saw a post on Blue Sky about a British streamer referring to a popular home computer as the ZX Spectrum. And younger viewers will see this and internalise it. Yestazine is British. In 75 episodes, we have done exactly one non-British magazine, and if you watch that episode with nerd-like attention, you will note it's the only one I'm not credited as editor on. I wrote the episode from materials provided by a lovely Italian man, and with his involvement, changes were made that were asked for, the story is an Italian one, and my job was to bring it to a British audience. And to be clear, this is not a Britain is great thing. Anyone that's been around me for 15 seconds or watched an episode will know that. Especially in the last decade, that's not a view I have, sadly. It's about preserving the history of the gaming market I grew up with. I don't feel the need to say, also known as the Genesis every time, because it's not relevant most of the time. No one cares Sensi was called Championship Soccer in some places. They care about how it transformed football games forever. Accepting a global video game crash diminishes the legacies of Matthew Smith, Sean Southern, Don Priestley, Kevin Toms, and so many others, none of which had a noticeable US impact, but are the superstars of many a British childhood. And commercial channels won't save us. Understandably, they have to go where the views are. A British commercial channel will constantly say Genesis/Mega Drive, or pronounce Mario like it has at least 15 A's in it. There are more American English viewers on YouTube after all. I can't blame them for doing so. A man, woman or misc has to make a living. But I've been pressured to do so. I've had American YouTubers say they can't understand why I wouldn't cater primarily to America. And I don't even blame them for that, because they don't hear their exclusive history mispronounced or ignored by their own state media. American kids aren't walking around in Alan Sugar t-shirts claiming he saved video gaming in America. So no, primarily Yestazine covers UK history. I will say the Master System won the 8-bit war without context, because here it did. I don't need to explain how it was in other countries. Other countries can do that. If Clive, Alan and Ian Commodore are going to be wiped off the map, I am not going to supply the SIF. That said, and I probably don't need to add this, American viewers of Yestazine, you are incredibly welcome. I know several of you. Multiple of you have channels of your own you know I enjoy immensely. If anything, the fact you are willing and enthusiastic to learn about gaming elsewhere makes you even more welcome. None of you have ever said, "Don't you mean the Genesis?" or thought we gave a runny shit about Walmart refusing to stock Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Some of you do say ZX Spectrum, but no one's perfect. Several of you have said, "That's interesting, because here," which is wonderful, and I hope I always extend you the same courtesy. So support British YouTubers. Support Italian YouTubers. And yes, support American YouTubers when they are telling you about their experiences. Just don't let any of them tell you about yours, even if they use words like global. And if this is somehow the first thing you've seen here and you'd like to see some British magazines yelled at, poke around some of this channel, will you? I've got a history to spread. Thank you for coming to my Edward talk. It's like a TED talk, but I'm posher.